sure that if their under-21 side could come up with a victory, it'd take a lot of the grand final nerves away from their first grade side as well. But we have an excellent opportunity to watch some real stars of the future in this game.
Greg McCallum, the referee, out there in centre, and we might just check out conditions down there with Billy Anderson on the touchline. Bill, it was pretty warm earlier. I guess it's creeping up just a little bit further now.
Well, I've got the umbrella up, so I'm certainly, there's plenty of sunshine coming down. These guys are all very fit. They're young fellows, and neither side's extremely big, so they should be able to handle it fairly well, and let's hope it's going to cool down in time for the first grade. Well,
I suppose it would have hotted up a little bit, Bill, with the comment by the South Sydney coach, Steve Sims, that he says that they are specials for this match today.
Yeah, it's good to see a confident coach, but I don't know in a game of this importance or any other game really that you should supply the opposition with motivation. That's what Steve's done, but he's got belief in his young chargers.
Yeah, well, I think he was talking about the fact that most people consider North Sydney in the next match and Balmain in the big one, of course, as being favourites, so I thought he might as well get into the act too. That's exactly what he's done, and that's exactly what referee Greg McCallum does as they start with the kick-off there. And, of course, this Canberra side, as Bill Anderson said earlier today, they have scored more points than any other team in the comp so far this year. So they've had a very, very big time, and they'll be looking forward to capping it off here today. Some players that we should be watching out for. The winger, Kenworthy, number 28, you'll notice him. He's a very quick runner. Matter of fact, the quickest mover in the club. So we'll be looking for something from him today. Beath, the fullback, and then, of course, over in the South Sydney lineup, Stone and Butcher are put down as probably their best players there today. So we'll see what will eventuate. Here's the kick downfield. Carrying right across field, going back over there for South Sydney will be Bacon, but it's eventually going to be taken by Wilson, the fullback, who brings it up to about 18 metres out from his own line. Bacon comes up as dummy half, working across field. Well, just having a look at the ground from where we are, very high in the back of the grandstand, of course, there's quite a few patches of area that just don't have too much grass out there.
No, that's right. Of course, we had that a huge period of wet weather early in the season, Bill, and certainly taken its toll here at the Sydney Football Stadium, with a number of clubs using this ground as its home base this year. But some of the ground, of course, is in remarkable condition. But I'm sure that once the crowd get in here and the first grade grand finals underway, the ground will pale into its significance.
Trying to make a way through up there for South Sydney. This time will be the centre in Cook, but he's going to be knocked over about 8 metres inside. That'll be the changeover. So it's Canberra now with a chance to show us a little bit of what they're capable of in their first touch of the ball. Taking up that time was Kenworthy, but he was quickly wrapped up. And, of course, one of the players out there in the 5'8" posse for South Sydney, Bill Anderson, a bloke we know pretty well in Charlie Saab.
Yes, he's the biggest 5'8" in the business. The only 5'8" I know can match him for size is Wally Lewis. Charlie Saab, of course, he's had first-grade experience. He's an excellent kicker of the football, long-range goal kicker. And the games I've seen in the semi-finals, he's really been a cut above the people he's played against. So Canberra are going to need to contain him today to have any chance of getting a result.
Things breaking down a little bit for Canberra. Now they put the kick into it. Carrying, oh, yes, bounces just in from touch. Couldn't be cut off on that occasion, and that'll bring play up to about 25 metres out from the South Sydney line. Just not being able to cut it off was Mark Bacon, the winger. Just having a look at this one, we've got them all out here. We've got a Baker, we've got a Cook, and we've got a Butcher. Throw in a bit of garlic and bacon, and it's quite a mixture. Ready to feed the scrum this time is the halfback Stockham. Whole scrum screwing around, eventually going to be lost. Stockham trying to get a hold of it. He's lost it. Canberra will come away with it. This is a big chance for them to go on the attack. Up there as dummy half is Jones, their hooker. They swing it out wide. Cutting back inside that time is Gregory. Still going is Gregory. And eventually put over. He's about 18 metres out from the line. Away from dummy half this time. Working it across field once again. Taking up is Barnhill. He'll be knocked over 10 metres out. A big chance for Canberra now. They swing it out wide. Trying to turn around and cut back inside was Mansfield. He's going to be wrapped up. Dummy half waiting for it is Halley, the 5'8". They swing it out wide again, but no, the defence of South Sydney coming in quite strongly. Dummy half waiting for it again is Halley. Could have lost it in there. Yes, they have. South Sydney ball diving on top of it over there for South Sydney will be their front rower in Butcher.
I'm sure the South Sydney players there, Bill, are feeling a little bit relieved. They were under quite a deal of pressure there. It was one of those kicks as well that could just as well gone anywhere around about there, but it managed to bounce off one of the South Sydney teammates and has certainly taken away a lot of nerves.
So a chance for them to settle it up a bit. They've worked up to about just over the quarter line now as they play the ball up there. Working right across field, trying to take it up that time was Stone. Lining up his dummy half is Garlic. And swing it out wide. Here's the kick coming through from Charlie Saab. He's not going to find touch. It's bouncing away. Coming up is Daryl McDonald, but he does find touch. McDonald hanging back a bit there on that occasion, Wally, and eventually Saab was able to just get enough to get the ball into touch. Here it is. Let's have another look at it now.
We see this quite a bit nowadays, Bill, that wingers, of course, the way that the scrum feeds go these days, 99 times out of 100, the side that puts the ball into the scrum wins it, and it's a lot better to try and let the ball just run into touch rather than maybe make an error. As we see Canberra, they're a club that normally rely on not making mistakes, turn the ball over very early in their tackle count.
Taking it up there is Charlie Saab. It's going to be a penalty now for South Sydney. And we'll probably see the big fella who just took it up have the shot at goal. So at this stage, just on 10 minutes of this under-21 match gone by, no points on the board as yet, and big Charlie Saab lining up for the shot at goal. He's kicked some long-range ones this year, and certainly a big, strong fellow. So Canberra making the mistake and losing possession. It was Stanton, their centre, who sent a loose pass, which was subsequently picked up by South Sydney. They got possession, and of course from there they were able to put on the pressure, but Canberra a little bit too keen to get up and knock them over. So Charlie Saab taking plenty of time. Referee Greg McCallum in the background. They'll start pretty warm favourites for this match today, South Sydney. They did account for Canberra quite easily in a semi-final match a few weeks back. But in other matches prior to that, it was 1-1 for this year. So Saab making another readjustment. Bill, I don't think there's much air around down there to blow this kick around, is there?
No, it's pretty still down here, and there's no doubt with Charlie Saab kicking that he'll get the distance. It's just a matter of him pointing it straight and then hitting it properly.
Well, he's had a bit of time working that one out. He's taken plenty of time at arranging it. So Saab moving up to have the shot at goal. Are these the first points on grand final day? They certainly are. 2 points on the board. South Sydney leading by 2-0 with the goal there by Charlie Saab. Saab, a very big fellow, as we've said. Now they're coming back onto halfway. And Wally, we've seen both sides lose possession, which has put them under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Bill, it's quite unusual to see Canberra throwing the ball around at their own half. It tends to go right through their grades, especially their first grade show quite a willingness to throw the ball around, but if they're at all inside their own half and just trying to ruck the ball away safely, we very seldom see them throw more than 1 or 2 passes. They usually rely on just making some quick yardage, control the ball as much as possible and get themselves into a good field position ready for a clearing kick.
South Sydney at this stage down inside their own half by about 20 metres and endeavouring to just take it up at this stage and settle it down a little bit. But the Canberra defence equal to the task at this stage. 9 metres short of the halfway, and South Sydney with a lead of just 2 points to 0. Here's the big strong kick downfield this time by Milburn. It will be taken by Beath. And Beath pushed off the first tackle, coming in over there this time from Bacon, but he was quickly grabbed. Taking it up is Matthew Baker, the front rower. 10 metres short of halfway now, this Canberra side. That's Guffey. Wrapped up. Dummy half is Jones. Crossover then to Breen. But he's lost the ball, rolled on the ground, going to be picked up by Millwood. South Sydney in possession again, so mistakes have been what's the difference between the two sides so far. Very unusual headgear there, Wal.
Yes, it's nice and colourful, isn't it?
I read it is. Bit of a help for us with these guys, I can assure you. So sending it back outside this time to Stone, who's been one of their attacking players. Back inside there is Thompson. Manoa Thompson. Dummy half was Bacon. Now a loose pass again, quickly picked up by Canberra, working away over there with Barnhill. They send it out along the back line, keep it going nicely. And out over there then to Stanton. Stanton gets up over halfway, out of one tackle, but the couple will pick him up about 15 metres inside South Sydney territory. So once again it was the loss of possession which put the other team on the attack. South Sydney trying to reef it out on that occasion. Thompson came in there trying to take possession, but Canberra have done well. They're up just inside the quarter line from the play the ball. Working it out nicely, but a loose pass again, rolling on the ground. Diving at it over there was Bacon, but it'll be Canberra who dive on top of it. And eventually we'll see the scrum pack down. There it is. A wild sort of a pass.
Another one going loose, Bill. We've seen on a couple of occasions now where Canberra have turned the ball over in possession. They seem quite capable of breaking the South's defence out wide, but that last pass continually goes to ground, and it's one that they've got to control now. Both teams turned over possession the last few times they've had it, although South Sydney are displaying good field position at the moment and a good kick and chase game.
Here's Saab diving on top, but as the loose pass went back behind him after he had a good run upfield a short time ago. So from the play the ball, going to ground with it up there this time will be the halfback Stockham. Turning it back inside, it's Thompson. Thompson just inside Canberra territory with it. Going back the other way this time is Butcher. Garlick to dummy half. Working right across field. Now links up, coming through quite solidly over there was Cook. Wilson lurking around in the action also. Little kick through. And it's going to be taken this time back there by McDonald. He waited just long enough to see how it was going to bounce and then moved in. Did pretty well too to get it up to just short of the quarter line. So Canberra now endeavouring to ruck it out and hold on to it too, which is more the important part of the exercise. South Sydney have an early lead in this match of just on 2 points to 0. Slowly getting up to play it over there was McDonald. Kick downfield again. Not going to find touch. Going back over there is Bacon. Bacon working right across field. Dived at and pulled out of the tackle over there by Gregory. By the way, of course, we have $500 for the man of the match for the State Bank. And that's a good start for someone here today to pick up the 500 as our man of the match. So now South Sydney working it up to about 5 minutes short of the halfway mark. Garlick is up his dummy half. He feeds it out. Going up over there this time is Presenter, but they cut it back nicely. Still going. Thompson got the pass away. Now loose one back inside. This will be a try though. Going over for the try there will be, let me have a look. It'll be Dimmock, the lock forward, I'd say. Going in for it. South Sydney getting the opening try of the match. Let's have a look at it now. And here's Walter.
Yes, it was a very good play. South Sydney have displayed exceptional qualities in backing up so far. It was some great work to take a ruck in there and find a supporting player. We saw some great work in there by Dimmock to take that ball up and hold it up in support for Sean Stockham, I think it is, that's finally crossed and scored the try. But the passes there have gone through 5 or 6 sets of hands.
Well, pretty flimsy defence here by Canberra. I thought they'll open around the rucks, and South Sydney made the initial split there. Found support on the inside. That was Dimmock, I think, that took play on. Got the ball back on to Saab. Saab then found Dimmock again. Dimmock had to beat the tackle of the fullback and scored adjacent to the posts. Pretty simple stuff, really.
Alrighty, so that's the opening try of the match, and South Sydney with a lead of 6 points to 0. Sean Stockham, the try scorer. And as Bill said, they did open up quite a bit there, Canberra. Charlie Saab attempting to convert the try. So Charlie Saab as it's placed and about to move back onto his mark. This ground starting to fill up, of course, for the big one later on today. And they've been pouring in since 9 o'clock, and this 40,000 capacity Sydney Football Stadium starting to just gradually build up in volume also from the crowd. Here's Saab. Shouldn't have too much trouble with that. Took plenty of dirt with him, but he's got it through. That's the main thing. So South Sydney have a lead of 8 points to 0 here at the moment. It's a nice start for them, Wally, although both sides have been a little bit sloppy.
It's a great start for South Sydney. You're quite right there, Bill. There has been a little bit of loose passing, and Canberra have been stretched a little bit wide around that ruck, as Bill Anderson mentioned. But to be 8-0 up after 13 minutes or so in a grand final is a very encouraging thing, and I'm sure that we'll see South Sydney now just try and settle down a little bit. I'm sure that their captain would have just, Steve Stone would have just said, let's just take the ball up, take 4, maybe 5 rucks up the middle, settle down, make no mistakes, and just get a good clearing kick in, and then try and hold Canberra as far downfield as we can.
That's Butcher getting up to play it. He's only about 30 metres out from his own line. And a few holes appearing there in the Canberra defence around those rucks, as we saw that try set up from there. So up as dummy half this time is Garlick. He dummied over the halfway and eventually put down about 5 metres inside Canberra territory.
Canberra's defence is very loose at the moment, Bill. I mean, if you can get... they've only had 4 tackles, and we can already see South Sydney 10 metres into Canberra's territory with the prospect of going even further. Unfortunately, we've seen a forward pass, but had that tackle been affected, South Sydney would have been kicking down. Possibly that the ball would have been taken by Canberra a few metres out from their try line, and they would have been very much on the defensive.
Pass there by Wilson right out to Thompson, ruled forward on that occasion. This is Gregory with it now. Gregory cuts it away to Beath into the back line, but he's going to be wrapped up. Thompson in for the tackle. Played forward, now running right across field, still going is Beath, now straightens up, bonks out of one tackle, the tackle coming in over there, a Butcher, and eventually a couple of metres inside South Sydney territory. So that was a nice run there from the fullback. We'll be looking probably for him to get a little bit more involved. He's one of their better attacking players. They keep it going again, Halley getting it back. Taking it up over there is Jones. Still about 5 metres inside South Sydney territory. On occasions, Gaffey. Tackler was Millwood. Setting out nicely again, swinging it across over there. Coming into the action was Mansfield. Now a little kick forward. It's going to be taken over there nicely, this time by Fitzpatrick. He'll be put down about 20 metres out from his own line. So the little kick not quite working on that occasion. This is starting to work though. This is Thompson on his own quarter line. Going to be wrapped up and put down about 10 metres short of the halfway mark. He'll play it from the dummy half. It was Bacon sending it back infield. So it's 8 points to 0 at the moment, South Sydney, and looking pretty comfortable at this stage too, as you can see. Running away from the dummy half spot on that occasion was Stone. This time it's Garlick. Cutting out Doyle, fighting out this time Dimmock. Dimmock to Stone, back inside, coming up there nicely was Stone again, and the pass getting outside, and another try coming up. South Sydney just doing it so well at the moment. Yeah, that was Cook this time, going in for the try, and South Sydney have a lead of 12 points to 0.
And they certainly deserve that too, Bill. We saw 2 magnificent passes in this movement. There's the first one, a long ball that put it into the movement, but here's the pass that really made the try. It was magnificent. The guy wasn't watching the fellow inside. He's obviously heard a call, and he was probably halfway to the ground when he decided to throw the ball up. It went to hand, and of course South Sydney way in front.
Well, there's one fellow in this South Sydney team that can play, and that's their lock forward, Jim Dimmock, the number 39. He was involved twice in this movement, but Canberra very, very loose in defence. We might talk about later exactly what's going wrong for them, but once again, good support play by South Sydney, and this time the centre, Brett Cook, backing up for a good 4-pointer.
So they rattle up 12 points at this stage, and only 22 match of the first half gone, so they're playing with plenty of confidence, and things just not happening for Canberra at the moment. So Charlie Saab, 2 from 2, the perfect effort for him so far. Shouldn't have too much trouble this one either. Dead set in front of the posts, and that'll be a great lead for South Sydney, and one which I would suggest Wally Canberra have a fair bit of work on the hands to peg it back.
Yes, it's going to be very hard, Bill, but then again, South have scored that many points, so it's possible for Canberra. But we find that Canberra forwards probably shifted in a little bit to try and cover the tight area around the ruck, and we saw South spread the ball wide.
Alrighty, so it's 14 points to 0 here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Back with more in just a moment. Either way, Canberra have scored. It was a good piece of work. The early lead up coming up here from Barhill. Watch the pass go back inside to him. He propped it up nicely, then back behind, and coming through was Jason Gregory, the 5'8", and he was able to get over it. So some good lead up stuff coming in from Barnhill, Wal.
Yes, it certainly was. There was a lovely flick pass inside, and once again, good support play. But Canberra, of course, are a club that displays some great skills. Their coaches throughout the years, as we see that kick, a fairly simple kick missed, have always relied on skills, ball handling skills, and it was just a try that they really needed, Canberra. And of course, it came about through a South mistake. South got just a little bit too confident, carried away, and went away from their game plan of working into a simple field position to kick, and have allowed Canberra well back into the match now, 14 points to 4.
We're talking about the Canberra defence a short time ago. Billy Anderson, how do you see where they're falling down? Well,
Billy, I've always thought this was going to be a high-scoring game, and I'll tell you why. If you have a look at the 4 wingers in defence, they all do exactly the same thing, and that is they hug the sideline. Now, you've only got 9 players in your defensive line with 2 markers, a cover defender and a fullback. Now, that means you're spreading them pretty thin as South Sydney make a break here and get the ball back onto Dimmock again. But, you know, you're spreading your players pretty thin from sideline to sideline, and that's opening up holes all across the field. That added to the hot weather, mate. There's going to be plenty of points scored here. It'll take at least 20 to win it.
Okay, so we saw Barnhill had just done the good work to set up the try, losing the ball, and so that gives South Sydney a chance right now. And it was Douglas taking it up. He's just inside the quarter line. Turning it around, coming away with this is Thompson. Thompson gets it away to Wilson, but it's going to be knocked down. Ball rolling loose. Play on, says a referee. And another 6 to go too. Taking it up on that occasion was Milburn. Dummy half is Garlick. Sending it back. That's through the hands of Stockton to Sam. Dummy half Garlick again. Charging his way up there is Butcher. Butcher only a couple of metres out. Trying to find a way through there was Garlick again. Right in front of the goal post, as you can see. South Sydney ball, a little bit slack there. Getting caught in the dummy half, Quasi. It was Douglas. Garlick sends it back. Saab is there, but I don't think can he get it down. He's reaching for it. Referee says no, held up. So a bit of a let-off for Canberra. Referee McCallum right on the job to rule no try and being held up. And so there's the... You don't tell me he's played ahead of the mark. He has. Canberra losing possession, or playing it ahead of the mark on the right turnover. And so a penalty going to South Sydney.
Well, that's a tough penalty, I suppose, but the rules are there to be followed. We're going to see South, of course, take the kick at goal here. But we had some quite good defence from Canberra there. They had a little bit of pressure. They looked like they could be cracked a couple of times with a couple of big charges from the South Sydney forwards. I think they've got a little bit of all of their nerves out of the system now. They've got a lot of confidence back from that first try that they've scored as well. But I think Billy Anderson's right. We see both teams here are good attacking sides. They love to throw the football around and certainly entertaining. Although there is a grand final and people believe that defence wins grand final. I suppose I'm a little bit of the opposite. I believe that if you've got a great attacking side, why try and stifle them?
Okay, we'll see Saab, 3 from 3. And he's just about to have a look at the size of this fellow. Coming in for the shot at goal. There she goes. No doubt about it. Another 2 points on the board. So it's South Sydney leading by 16 points to 4. And we have 10.5 minutes remaining in this first half of the match. And I guess at this stage there are either late breakfasts, there's brunches or early lunches starting. I know there's a big one down there at the Hilton Hotel in Melbourne. New South Wales Rugby League, the Hilton Hotel in Winfield combining to get that one going. I know there's a big one at the Broncos Club in Brisbane, Wally.
Yes, I'm sure that they'd be enjoying the view. They probably would enjoy it a lot more if the Broncos could be involved somewhere along the way, but unfortunately we didn't even get close.
So now it's South Sydney down inside their own quarter. Garlick working across field, got his pass away, and coming up there was the 5'8", or rather the centre in Thompson. Midway between the quarter and halfway, down in their own territory. Oh, gee, that was a big one. That's a don't argue if ever we've seen one. Kick downfield coming up this time, taking his time to get across. Beath doesn't get a good bounce, goes right away from him. And he takes it quickly, but mainly because he had Stone charging at him over there. But he'll get up to play at 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Big tackle there from Charlie Saab, driving him back a little bit. Fullback Beath up there again. Field will play the ball out to Baker. Baker tackled by his opposite number in Butcher, so the Butcher and the Baker got together. Kick right across field, waiting back there this time is Bacon for South Sydney. He'll take it, run it out. 10 metres short of the halfway mark, put to the ground. South Sydney with a lead of 16 to 4. Pretty handy lead in the grand final at this stage. We have been saying this Canberra side have scored more points than anyone else this year, so they quite conceivably wrap it a little bit up. Working right across field this time is Stone. Trying to link up with supports, but just couldn't quite position himself. So South Sydney working it inside Canterbury territory. Garlick waiting his dummy half again. Thompson getting involved over there. Saab. Kick downfield, got it back in behind McDonald's, and it's a nice kick. It's going to find touch. Gee, only about a metre or so out from the line.
You can tell this guy, Bill, has had some experience in first grade. He shows a very cool head out there on a number of occasions where South have been under a little bit of pressure. He's just relieved it with some very good clearing kicks, and his organisation of his back line has also been first class.
So the referee wants the ball to go into the scrum again, so Andrew Hulley will bring it around for Canberra. At this stage, just 7.5 minutes to the half-time break. Working across field over there is Beef. Dummy half waiting for it this time is Gregory, the 5'8". Canberra still quite content to run it about there. Going to ground with it this time will be Breen. So working across field is Barnhill again. He likes to look for supports, but he's not having much trouble, not having much help getting them there at the moment. This one right off the side of the boots. Bouncing around, but eventually Wilson. A good attacking player is this fellow. Put over midway between the quarter and halfway. Still in South Sydney territory. This is Thompson. Upended on that occasion by Mansfield. Dummy half Garlick. Getting it across over there, then to Fitzpatrick getting involved. Canberra come away with it though. And a chance for them to do something now. Taking it up is Gaffey. Dummy half Jones. Not afraid to run this fellow. He's through. He's coming. Got away from the tackle of Wilson, but is going to be bowled over, but hanging on to the ball. He's dropped it. He has dropped it in there. Well, he was looking around for support. He scored a try for them the other week, which got them home against Parramatta. He was looking around, was getting set for the one-handed pass, but lost it in the tackle.
Certainly did some good work out of dummy half there, and a golden opportunity missed for Canberra. That would have been very handy. Would have seen the score brought back to 16-10 with the kick. Probably would have been from under the post. And now with South Sydney getting that penalty, we'll see play brought right back down inside Canberra's half. But we saw a little bit of a turnaround in the game there for a while. I mean, Canberra have been in control the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and South have been steadily making a few more mistakes. I think this game's a long way from over yet, Bill.
Well, it would have been handy for them to go into the break just trailing by the 6 points rather than the 12 they are at this stage. Anyway, we'll see what they can do. This is Fitzpatrick. Taking it up strongly this time is Stone. Garlick away from dummy half, turned it back inside. And South Sydney have worked up to just about onto that halfway mark, so they've done pretty well. Knocked down, another 6 tackles. No, he's going to rule the knock on there. Well, it was okay first up, but then the knock on occurred. So that's a halfway mark you can see. And Stockham getting ready to feed for South Sydney. And still the crowd builds up here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Coming into the back line is Wilson. Still going, Wilson. 10 metres inside of Canberra territory before they put him down quite forcibly. Away for the dummy half, Stockham. Garlick waits for it. Over there is Douglas. South Sydney just working it up and getting ready to take it from there. Big strong run coming through from Milwood on that occasion. So here they go. This could be the chance for South Sydney. Garlick swinging it back. Drop shot at goal. It is well away to the right-hand side of the upright. Steve Stone had a shot at it, but not a very good one. So just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half of this match. South Sydney's lead is 16 points to 4.
Quite smart thinking there from the South Sydney team, Bill. With only 4 minutes, or just under 4 minutes of play remaining in the first half, that field goal, the 1 point, would have seen South more than 2 converted tries in front of Canberra, which is a big psychological disadvantage if you were on the Canberra side, to know that you've got to score more than 2 converted tries. in the second half would really deflate you at half-time and certainly make coming back after half-time a lot harder to face.
So now Canberra about 12 metres short of the halfway mark. South Sydney defence coming in very strongly. Kick downfield this time by Halley. Back over there is Bacon. Bacon over the quarter line, now starting to go right across field, trying to get away from the flying tackle of Gregory, but can't. So this time it's the fullback Wilson into it again to Thompson. Stepping back inside and still going is Thompson. Bang, tackle coming in nicely. Moving in from the wing there was McDonald. Stockham to the halfway mark. Not achieving much on that occasion was Garlick. Lost the ball. Scrum on the halfway mark. So that's a good lead for South Sydney. 12-point advantage at this stage and almost on half-time. So lining up with it. Kick downfield this time by Gregory.
Very disappointing chase here from Canberra. Bill was quite smart thinking by the play with the ball at the moment. He saw that what was going on there and decided to drop back to cover the kick. I'm not sure whether there was any communication between the Canberra backs, but it certainly looked from up here. Admittedly, we've got a little bit of an advantage from up high, seeing what's going on. But there wasn't one Canberra back to chase that kick through to put any sort of pressure on when it was needed just 2 minutes before half-time.
So now Garlick is up there as dummy half. Back inside it goes to Butcher. So now there's coming back inside over there was Bacon. Through there very solidly trying to get the ball was Barnhill. So a minute to go to the half-time break here. Can Canberra put on a last little ditch effort here to try and bridge that gap?
They shouldn't be panicking at this stage here, Bill. We saw them kick from a scrum just a minute ago, and you could fit 6 tackles in 60 seconds. So they should just be trying to work up 1 or 2 and then trying to put on a play somewhere around the middle of the field if they can to use both sides. Get an option to go either way. There's only 2 tackles left now, so they've really got to try and get everybody inspired. But as we say that, we see South Sydney go on the counter-attack through a bad kick.
Yeah, it was a kick through there by Jones. This is Charlie Saab looking around for support, but taken by the defence. Getting across over there to wrap him up was Kenworthy. So now it's South Sydney. They've got about 15 seconds to try and enter their score coming into the half-time break. But not happening much over there at the moment. Keep it going though. Back it comes this time to Cook. The half-time hooter. So at the half-time break, South Sydney have a lead of 16 points to 4.
National David Campese.
Canberra, I guess, David, is it?
Definitely, yes. I had a word to Ricky Stewart and some of the boys on Friday, and they were very, very confident, and they didn't seem to have much pressure on them. They took it very easy, so hopefully they get the ball out to Mao and the wingers today. They might do all right.
Your old mate from the Wallabies, Ricky Stewart, to turn him around?
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. I think he's still got a lot to learn, obviously, but if you can take it easy today and sort of put the pressure on the outside guys, you might find he might make a break or 2 today.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much, Stan.
Warren Ryan, the Balmain coach today, is in his 6th grand final. Back in 1981 when he had Newtown, it was his first. I spoke during the week to John Singleton to tell us a little bit about Warren and that day. You were with Newtown when Warren Ryan was there in the early 80s. Warren now has been in 6 grand finals. The fact that he's been in so many, there must be something unique about the guy as a coach.
Yeah, he picks good teams, you know. And he also he's a very intense guy. I mean, you sit and have dinner with him, and all the knives and forks become players. He lives for nothing else. He lives and breathes rugby league, and he thinks it through to the nth degree. And I know sometimes when he has blackboard lectures, you'd look down and half the team would be asleep. But nevertheless, he has, even if they weren't really hearing what he was saying, they were knowing they better apply themselves, and they concentrate much harder because he's so intense about the game. He's a testy bastard, and I reckon Keith Barnes ought to have a lap of honour if they get up, because I know keeping Warren in control is not the easiest job in the world, but like most people who are very good at their job, he's mostly pretty hard to get on with.
Last year, Warren was pretty relaxed because they'd achieved their goal, I think, just by getting to the grand final. This year, they're going in as red-hot favourites. Will that be a lot tougher for him?
Well, I knew Warren in 81. It was first time he'd been in a grand final, first time in first grade, and U-Down were 400 to 1 outsiders at the start of the year. And I think then Warren was so uptight. I mean, we met every night almost that week and had dinner and planned things. And I think that Warren would admit now that he learned in 81 because Tommy Radonicus was supposed to come off at half-time and there's a big wind, and Kenny Wilson with his wonderful kicking game was supposed to come on, and Warren outsmarted himself. He sent Tommy on just for 5 minutes to confuse Parramatta, and Tommy confused Warren by scoring straight away. And I think Warren to this day won't admit it, but I reckon he thought he'd have his head pulled off his shoulders by the crowd if he pulled Tommy off. So I think that first one, the nerves really got to Warren, and since then I think he's, you know, nothing will be more tense than that. He's been through it 6 times, as you said, and I don't think it's going to get to him this time.
Well, there he is, John Singleton, talking about Warren Ryan, and of course a lot of water under the bridge since 1981 for Ryan. He's won 2 grand finals with Canterbury, and today, well, he's going to be shooting for number 3. During the week I took the time out to speak to Ryan, the coach of the 80s.
I would support the fact that I'm straightforward, direct, abrupt and all those dreadful things, and sometimes controversy surrounds those sort of people because people perhaps don't enjoy that, and that's possibly, you know, where you derive an answer or a summation of that nature from.
How is it that a coach who's got a coaching record, the envy of everyone else in the league, never gets the recognition that he deserves?
Oh, well, probably if you are an abrupt person and that perhaps if you've got a better bedside manner, you know, more people want you as their doctor, but they come to the doctors that are best when they're really sick and need you, I suppose. But that's the province of the people who hand out the accolades. It's nothing to do with me.
Does it worry you?
Well, you know, it doesn't worry me, but I do observe that fact.
But there's more to what we see in the game of football than the uneducated can see, isn't there? Some people are watching oranges and others are looking at pineapples.
Well, yeah, my little bloke goes along, eating footballs, ice creams and drinks and handstands up at the back of the grandstand, but everyone watches it at their own level of enjoyment and their own appreciation of it. But I once tried to tell somebody that was claiming, I think he was a soccer devotee, and he was claiming that soccer was all skill and league had no skill. I said, oh no, I said, there's a lot of science in that brutality that you're watching out there. But he didn't know, he couldn't see it.
The fundamentals, the basics of football, they still play a big part in any Warren Ryan coach team.
Well, the first premise that you start with is tremendous football, as you see. You've got to have the talent. It's impossible to win without talent. So let's get that straight. There's been a famous statement made by, I think he was the winningest coach in basketball in American collegiate basketball, and I think he said that something along the line that no one can win without talent. What is it? Not everybody can win with talent, when no one can win without it. I think that's how it went. And I thought that sort of summed things up. The biggest thing that worries me is that the team expect to win. Whereas perhaps the ones that we play will be fighting tooth and nail to knock us off. I just got to somehow, hopefully, get the players to the point where they're prepared to struggle for the full 80 minutes and not have this air that they're being fed, and it's being fed, you know, rather liberally around, that Balmain will win. And, you know, Balmain, that's still a game of football. Balmain may not win. And any kind of attitude like that will see Balmain lose.
Well, what a coach he is, Warren Ryan, and that's what makes him tick. Now, it's 16 points to 4 in favour of Souths in the under-21s. We'll be back with all that second half action after this break.
Back to the Sydney Football Stadium on grand final day for 1989, and this is the under-21 President's Cup match between South Sydney and Canberra. South Sydney with a half-time lead of 16 to 4. We're a couple of minutes into the second half of the match, and we see South Sydney on the attack. They've been doing a fair bit of that. Canberra lost the ball on a couple of occasions, and South Sydney have put on some pressure, but the Canberra defence has been able to hold up. Whether it can do this time remains to be seen. The pass going up, but cutting back inside, but the defence is going to be there to pick them up. I saw a good run by Charlie Saab a short time ago, and in that tackle, Paul Beath was injured. That player is going to be penalised. Beath was the injured player as he tried to knock down big Charlie Saab, who'd made quite a bustling run upfield once again. So, Bill, at this stage, would you say that Canberra still have a chance?
Well, if I was South Sydney, I wouldn't be totally confident. And if I was Canberra, I wouldn't think I was totally out of the game either. But 12 points is a pretty handy lead, particularly with a shot to goal for goal to come. Billy, I just reckon that both of these sides have had opportunities to score. Souths have taken theirs and Canberra haven't. They've just dropped too much ball. They're going to have to address that problem.
So here's Charlie Saab once again. He's had a nice day with the boot. Now the shots at goal have been difficult, I might add. 4 from 4 though. That's 8 points in the grand final. It's a nice help out of the first half of the match. So this crowd starting to build up again. There it is. You can see plenty of Canberra colours, plenty of Balmain there. And that's one part of the stand. The higher part of the stand, well, that's been gradually filling up also. Those people sitting out in that sun will really know about it. It's a very warm day here in Sydney today, as Charlie Saab attempts to hot things up a little bit further with this shot at goal. There he is. He takes quite a deal of the mound when he kicks, but it doesn't affect him. He's put over another one. So that's 5 out of 5 for Charlie Saab, and South Sydney have a good lead now of 18 points to 4. There's been a change in the Canberra lineup.
Yes, Andrew Halley, one of their very best players, the halfbacks coming from the field. He's replaced by Brett Marmont in 49. Marmont to 5'8", Gregory back to halfback.
Okay, so a bit of a readjustment in the Canberra Raiders lineup as we see the restart of play. Putting it into play there was Paul Jones. Been a couple of good performances from a few of these South Sydney players in the first half, Wally.
Yes, there sure has, Bill. They're showing, I suppose now we can see why their coach had so much confidence in his team before the game. He certainly predicted a very big win for them, but they have applied themselves very well. There's been a couple of times, of course, where they strayed away from their game plan, but Charlie Saab and Jim Dimmick, I think, are the two guys that have stood out most of all. They're showing a lot of maturity on the football field. Of course, Saab, he's quite an experienced footballer for his age, and at the moment he seems to be the guy that's controlling most of the pattern for the game for South Sydney.
Stockham with it, about 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Dummy half waiting there is Garlick again. Here's the kick downfield, not a good one, right off the side of the boot, but it does find touch. Well, kick downfield by Barnhill on that occasion. Have a look at it. And the winger over there just hanging back once again, and McDonald. And the ball into touch. So the scrum is midway between quarter and halfway down in Canberra territory. So it'll be Marmont taking it up with the pass outside from Gregory. Wilson has now gone to the halfback spot. So the South Sydney defence getting up to the task on that occasion. No chance getting through on this occasion. Millwood to the halfway mark though. So away from dummy half is Stone, or rather Gaffey. Dummy half is Jones. And a strong run coming up this time from Green. Green up over, then he gets his pass away, but going to be knocked down. The defence coming through very strongly to put over Gregory. Back inside, ball rolling loose. Going to be dived down and picked up over there by McDonald. They keep it going. Here's a chance. But that'll be the final tackle, and it's changeover time. I think South Sydney will breathe a sigh of relief over there. So away from dummy half, working across field over there will be Stockham. The time it was Fitzpatrick, the winger. South Sydney leading 18 points to 4. Into the action this time is the centre over there in Cook. Stone getting up to play it. Captain of the South Sydney team. Dummy half this time is Garlick. It's Charlie Saab. Big fellow reefs it downfield. Coming away play with it this time is Beath. Beath knocked to the ground.
We can see a lot of Gary Belcher's play in young Paul Beath at the moment. Of course, he's the Canberra captain and likes to lead by example, but there is a lot of similarity between his play and his return of kicks. Gary Belcher, of course, is a guy that loves to run the football, and he's probably he and Gary Jack would be the best two counter-attacking fullbacks in the game by far. And just watching young Paul Beath at the moment, he's certainly taken a page out of both of those players. More probably Gary Belcher having him in the same club.
Well, he's a former Australian schoolboy rep and did play at Manly for a while, and a lot of people on that occasion liken him a fair bit to Graham Eadie. So now it's a little kick through, but South Sydney diving on it. And not coming out of it too hot either. So now it's the Rabbitohs over there with Thompson. He'll play it. Garlick's dummy half to Saab. Got it around the corner nicely, but going to be juggled and lost. This time Canberra end up with it. The man over there with the ball is Matthew Baker.
Like for South Sydney there, Bill, we saw Charlie Saab open the play right up there. It was a lovely pass which he held up, got around the corner, and it could have been a try for South Sydney. It was only the fullback to beat, and there was a couple of South Sydney players ready to back up as well.
Yes, it looked quite promising on that occasion, but the play just falling down. That's Breen. He unloaded again. He set up his supports quite nicely. That time it was Gregory once again. That's Jones sending the pass. They keep it going, sending it back the other way this time. Pass off the ground. This is Barnhill rolling loose and now into touch.
The play's just broken down there, Bill, but gee, the future of rugby league certainly looks very healthy when we've got the players such as we're seeing at the moment.
Down on the touchline, here's Billy.
Yeah, Peter Field coming from the field for Canberra. He's been replaced by Darren Fritz. Now, Fritz is a ball-playing front row forward. He is an attacker, and while I talk, number 35 here for Souths, that, of course, is Sean Garlick, their hooker. He's getting a dislocated thumb put back in.
Well, he might be feeling any pain at this stage with the South Sydney lead of 18-4. It'll be a Canberra ball this time. Working away from the back of the scrum was Gregory. Got it outside, then to Beath coming into it. Gregory dummy half again. Sends it across over there to Gaffey. Gaffey knocked over. They keep it. Here's the chance for Canberra now. Trying desperately, but no, the South Sydney defence locking them up. Crossover there is Cook. Or rather, on that occasion it was Mansfield. On then to Breen. Breen about 10 metres out from the South Sydney line. Working it wide, trying to find a way through is Jones. Final tackle. Big long one outside. No, going to be knocked over there was Fritz. So it'll be the changeover, and once again, South Sydney standing up to the pressure somewhat.
Yes, you've got to take your hat off to their defensive system at the moment, Bill. They've been under pressure a number of times. Obviously, they want to guard that lead as much as possible. They want to get their hands on the trophy, and that seems to be the main difference at the moment. When South Sydney get into a scoring opportunity, they tend to find a few holes in the Canberra defence. But Canberra haven't had the same success down near the South line. They haven't been able to penetrate at all.
Well, as Bill said before, the difference probably being that South Sydney have taken the chances they've had. And taking it up this time for South Sydney is Butcher. Garlick getting it across over there to Millwood again. Or Dimmock rather, Dimmock that time. So now it's the kick downfield for Beath. Turn around. Works up over the quarter line. Oh, got a pass that went back behind him. Kenworthy had to go back to dive on it. Kenworthy not quite sure. I don't know whether he was questioning or just playing for time until someone got there as dummy half. So now, standing up, they keep it going. Working away over there this time to Gregory. Now the quick hands again outside over there to Stanton. And a penalty coming up, not allowing to play the ball there. And so a chance for Canberra to drive that ball down into South Sydney territory. South Sydney's lead is 18 points to 4. 22 minutes remaining in this President's Cup Under-21 Grand Final.
I'm sure referee Greg McCallum has enjoyed this game as well, Bill. It's been quite an open, attacking sort of an event, and he hasn't had to use his whistle too much at all. That's one of the few penalties we've seen in the game, and I'm sure it takes a lot of pressure off him as the referee as well.
That's Baker with it now for Canberra. This is the time Canberra desperately need a try. Oh, sending it back inside over there to Barnhill. Baker pulled down, still about 8 metres out from the South Sydney line. From the play, the ball to Gregory. Turning it back inside, but that had to be forward. And so the referee to pack down a scrum. It'll be about 10 metres out now from the South Sydney line. So into the scrum with Stockham. Okay, so at this stage, South Sydney in this under-21 President's Cup final, leading by 18 points to 4. And there's 21 minutes of the match remaining. Let's take you outside. I think there's a very special guest arrived from Melbourne. Here's Graham Hughes.
Everybody's going to ask you today, where's Ken?
Tom's at home looking at the little gentleman. I only hope he doesn't start hitting on the milk and his cappuccino machine again. Because last time it meant I had to jump up and down a little trampoline, you know, because they refused to have their milk and isn't it in the front of the head.
Okay, all right.
So there it is. You saw the try coming up from Thompson. Mano and Thompson. Have a look at it now. You'll see some of the early play from there.
It was a lovely pass to put Thompson into the gap, Bill, but he showed some excellent pace to outsprint the cover defence here. We saw Paul Beath, and it looked like Beath had him lined up for all money. He took him across, lined him up between himself and the sideline perfectly, but he just, in 3 or 4 steps, pulled out of the tackle and managed to cross when it certainly looked like he was going to get taken at a touch.
Well, Bill, you had a pretty good view of that. Was right in front of you. He's got a bit of toe, this fellow.
He sure has. He's been the impact player of the under-21 competition in the semi-finals, Manoa Thompson, and he's not signed up for South Sydney yet as yet for next season, and I'm sure Terry Park will be looking at that in the next couple of weeks.
Well, Charlie Saab's had a good day with the boot. 5 from 5. There's the try scorer, Manoa Thompson. Just the little gap opened up and away he went, and that, of course, would pretty much seal it, I would think, even though there's 19 and a half minutes remaining. Canberra needed the try some 5 minutes ago, Walt.
Yeah, they sure did. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Bill. I suppose anything is possible, but a try like that hasn't only opened up the gap between the two teams and on the scoreboard. It's taken a lot of the confidence away from the Canberra side, and I think when we see South Sydney taking the ball up, they'll be playing a lot more inspired football, whereas Canberra will be feeling a little bit disappointed and wondering what they are doing here.
Far and away the most difficult kick that Charlie Saab has had in this match today. We'll see what he can do with it, though. On his way. He's big enough to kick it from here to the harbour. It's going to be way to the right-hand side of the uprights. So the score remains South Sydney leading by 22 points to 4. Of course, since we've been away, and once again we see the story of a kick downfield, which certainly hasn't gone right over there for the winger Darryl McDonald. Watch him go back, and then all of a sudden it gets that kick away and straight into touch. Beef coming across also, but all to no avail. So the ball bouncing South Sydney way on that occasion. Here's Bill Anderson once again down to the touchline.
Yeah, been a few changes, Bill. For South Sydney, Wayne Mamo and Angelo Dimmick. Mamo in 45, Dimmick in 46. They've replaced Stockham and Millard. For Canberra, we've had the one change. Nigel Gaffey succumbed to an injury, and his place has been taken by Steve Mills in 47. He's a big, tall customer, but he'll need to be able to play to get him out of this.
I couldn't agree more with you on that occasion, Bill. Taking it up there is Stanton for Canberra. Canberra went close a couple of minutes ago, but just couldn't finish it on from there.
Yes, they suffered the same problems they have throughout the match, Bill, when they looked like they were in that scoring situation. A loose pass found its way into South Sydney hands, and once more it was 6 points gone begging.
So cutting back infield there is Baker. He'll be wrapped up by Charlie Saab. And cutting over there is Gregory. And a pass coming on this time to Mansfield. Kick through over there by Freeman, who's one of the replacement players. And he's on there for Roger Kenworthy. That right, Bill?
Yes, that's right. Kenworthy's had to come from the field with an ankle injury, and Freeman goes on. I don't know that he'll have the pace of Kenworthy, but the ball hasn't found its way out to those Canberra wings too much anyhow.
So now we'll have the tap taken on the quarter line. Cutting his way through over there was Brett Cook, looking for some involvement. He scored a try earlier for South Sydney, but haven't seen a great deal of him since then. That's Mamo. So 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Dummy half waiting for it is Garlick. Garlick to about a metre short of the halfway mark. Dummy half waiting for it is Dimmock, who's been one of the top South Sydney players today. Away to Saab, who decides to pass. He was under a bit of pressure. Got it over then to Stone. Beef back there to take it for Canberra. Got it around the corner nicely. But the referee, he hasn't given the much of a break, Bob.
No, you think at 22 points to 4 with the 12 minutes left, he'd be a little bit considerate towards him. It was a line ball, but I suppose if he's going to referee it, he's going to referee by the same rules all day long. But I'm sure that the Canberra blokes are feeling a little bit hard done by.
Bit of a tough one for them. Another change coming up, Bill.
Anthony Castro in 47. I think that's South's last change. He's replaced Brett Cook, the centre, who had a mammoth game.
Obviously, their coach Steve Sims has decided to give everyone a run here today. This is Thompson. And wide up. Let them all taste a grand final victory. I don't think too many people would deny anyone the opportunity to run out there on the Sydney Football Stadium on a day such as this. Dummy half is Saab. Turning it back inside, that's Dimmock. A little bit of a chat on the run there from referee McCallum, not surprised. That's Douglas with it. South Sydney looking for another one. Garlick to dummy half. He'll send it back over there to Mamo. Long one, and it's got, they're throwing around everywhere, but there's going to be a forward in there. A couple of them, actually. Have a look at it. Looked promising for a while. Have a look at this. Fitzpatrick reaching. But all to no avail. So the scrum to pack down. 20 metres out from the Canberra line. Gregory swinging across over there to Marmont. Gregory again up as dummy half. Working across field is Stanton. 11 minutes remaining in this under-21 grand final, and the Rabbitohs will win something for the year. They'll get away with this one. Round the corner nicely, but going to be lost over there by Jones. And once again, a handling error letting down the Canberra team. 5 metres inside South Sydney territory. The scrum to pack down. Lining up on it is Gregory. They give it a crossover then to Field, or rather Dimmock, who's dropped in as halfback for South Sydney. I think he'll retain the job next year after that one. Cutting through this time is Beef. Got his pass back over then to Baker. So can Canberra score? Oh, no, they can't. Pass coming outside then from Barnhill, but it's going to be knocked down. South Sydney in possession again. South Sydney about 20 metres short of the halfway mark. Garlick to dummy half. And another good run coming up this time by Milburn over there. A couple of these forwards have worked pretty hard for South Sydney.
Yes, they have, Bill, but probably one of the best things that they've managed to do is share the work around. There hasn't been any one forward there that's really dominated the play. The hookers had a very good game, and Garlick, he's managed to dominate the ruck play fairly well, but all of the forwards have shared the work around both in attack and defence, and I think that's what's helped them. They've all made fairly fresh and continue to do the work.
That's Freeman, the replacement player. Knocked over 10 metres out now from the Canberra line. Working up is Breen. He stands in the tackle, was able to get it away over there to Jones. The referee says play on. It was touched by the opposition in there. Now they've lost it. They've lost plenty of ground under pressure. Only about 5 metres out from their own line.
Just play it with the ball.
Little kick through now. But the ball eventually finding its way into touch.
Off Canberra. Off Canberra.
So it's about 20 metres short of the halfway mark. South Sydney leading 22-4. Here, and it all started, well, there's the man that eventually scores it, but he gets a pass outside to Thompson. That was Charlie Saab to Thompson. Thompson still going. Now he sends it back inside, and watch for Charlie Saab looming up now. Saab is tackled close to the line. It was Freeman who dived at him, but he was able to wiggle his way across and get in for the 4-pointer. He's now attempting to convert the try. So it's been a big day points-wise for Charlie Saab. This one is away to the right-hand side of the uprights. So the score remains South Sydney leading by 26 points to 4. Let's have another look at it from the head on.
This try was scored, Bill, but it certainly wasn't through any fault of the replacement winger, Scott Freeman. You see him just affecting that tackle there, or missing him actually, but he's made the effort to get up off the ground, chase through. He's tried to hunt up the player passing the ball there and made a valiant effort to tackle Charlie Saab before he scored it, and was up off the ground almost to try and make a third attempt to it, but all to no avail. South Sydney scoring their 4th try for the game to move out to 26-4, and they're looking extremely good, and now we can see why their coach was showing so much confidence.
Well, Charlie Saab, points-wise, has come up with 14 here today for South Sydney in this match, and he's only missed those couple of goals, which were a fair way out, of course, but he certainly had the height, but not the direction. Another break coming up the centre, but they've lost the ball in the process. It was Garlick who made the break. Penalty coming up to South Sydney. Have a look at him, nearly got the referee on that occasion. And lost the ball in the tackle. And they're going to have a shot at goal just to finish it up. Ferguson coming on for South Sydney in the dying moments of the match. I wouldn't think, Bill Anderson, there'd be anybody left down there, is there?
No, just about been through all of the troops, haven't they? You know, I think Steve Sims wanted to give all his players the opportunity to win a grand final, and as far as Canberra were concerned, they fired all of their bullets, but they just weren't good enough on the day. They used their replacements. They did everything that they possibly could, but they just couldn't get the result. South's too good.
Of course, a reminder, we'll have our $500 Man of the Match award for the State Bank at the conclusion of this game down there with Graham Hughes. Charlie Saab, 5 from 7 today. He's back onto his mark. He's dead set in front here. The big fellow was on his way. Nice and high direction. How is it? No good. It's waved away. So the score remains South Sydney leading by 26-4. So the dying minutes of this President's Cup Grand Final today. As we lead on, we'll have David Fordham here shortly with the reserve grade match, and then of course the big one coming up this afternoon. So now it's South Sydney in possession. That's Thompson. A couple of metres short of the halfway mark. So 4 tries to 1 for South Sydney. So Garlick from dummy half. They work it away again, but the referee spotting that one. So that was Dimmock who took it up. And slowly, this ground is really starting to fill up now. Online for the big one this afternoon. Balmain and the Canberra Raiders. Good kick through, not a bad one either. Going back, it's Thompson who'll be the first one there. Tackled right on the quarter line. The man getting a hold of him on that occasion was Newman. But South Sydney get the ball with Thompson. And there's a few players out there starting to really feel the effects of this very warm conditions here today. half there is Stone, Steve Stone, who's led this South Sydney side very well today. Keeping it going over there was Douglas. Canberra in it. Dummy half waiting over there was Baker. Back along, keeping it going with Breen. Then around again. Trying to get the pass back inside. Ball rolling loose. South Sydney will come away with it. Only about 8 metres out from their own line. Into the final minute of this President's Cup Grand Final. So for South Sydney, tries by Stockham, by Cook, Thompson and Saab. Saab 5 goals from 8 for Canberra. The lone try by Gregory, who attempted to convert the try but had missed it. So it's 26 points to 4. So South Sydney content to just play out the time now. And far and away, they had full honours out of this match today. Getting up to play there was Ferguson. Cutting his way through this time is Castro. Ball rolls loose. Canberra come away with it. Barnhill, or rather, Barnhill going to ground with it. And there's the full-time hooter on its way. A little kick coming through. The hooter goes. Taking the ball back over there will be Dimmock. Dimmock will be tackled eventually. Yes, he will. Just short of the halfway mark. So the full-time score in the President's Cup under-21 Grand Final. The Rabbitohs have done it. South Sydney have won the match by 26 points to 4. 26 to 4. A win for South Sydney in this President's Cup final. So there you go. Stockham, Cook, Thompson and Saab tries. Saab 5 from 8. And for Canberra, the try there by Gregory, and he had one shot at goal to convert that try, but missed it. So we'll get ready for the Man of the Match award for the State Bank. Graham Hughes will be down there very shortly. That's the South Sydney captain in Steve Stone. Been hoisted up by his teammates. And they're ready there for the grand final photo. And a pretty happy crew there, and why not? Big performance from them and their coach Steve Sims, who declared today that they were red-hot certainties, and they've certainly proved him correct out here today. They're all quite happy down there, and why not? So South Sydney opening up the day with a grand final win. Canberra, of course, now have to hope that their top side can do the job later on today. Just Graham Hughes down there with our Man of the Match award winner.
Thank you, Billy. Sean, quite a performance from the side, although you were confident after beating them in the semis.
You never know with grand finals. They're always going to come back big. They made a few changes to their pack and they come back strong as we thought they would. But to our credit, we just kept going up the forwards and the backs did the rest.
Makes up a little for the minor premiership in the first grade side.
Yeah, it sure does. It was very disappointing for us, them losing that, especially after how they played so well through the year. And it was a big blow to the club, but I hope it just restores a bit of happiness to the club after winning it.
All right. Open your hands there, Sean. $500 from the State Bank straight into a State 1 account. Congratulations, our Man of the Match grand final.
I'd like to thank State Bank and Winfield Cup.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, there he is, Billy. We'll go back now to you for the presentations.
All righty, so we're getting ready now. As you can see, a pretty happy South Sydney camp there, and they won out in the under-21s here today. They'll be going across to receive their medallions, of course, and do their victory lap.
There's a lovely breeze blowing out here, and Grand Final 89 is going to be a beauty. But we've got another game to go before that too. We'll get these Raiders up here in a minute. Understandably disappointed. You come here in front of a big crowd on this great day, Grand Final 89. Raiders, up you come. Come on, fellas. Give them a big hand as they come up. Runners up for 89 in the President's Cup, the Canberra Raiders, and did themselves proud.
magnificent win by South Sydney in the under-21 competition. And we're just watching now as the Canberra Raiders, the losers, are receiving their medals. And right now, South Sydney, well deserved as they join the stage.
And his two touch judges, Mr. Smith and Mr. Lee, and presented by Jim Long, the state manager of the Winfield Company. Good on you, Greg.
Well, Billy Anderson, it was a very confident South Sydney team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is
Lead wasn't at half-time, 16 points to 4, and I spoke to their coach, Steve Sims, before the game. He always believed they had the ammunition, Graham, to go on with this game, and he's got some good young players there. You know, the impact player of the whole competition, from what I saw, was his centre three-quarter, Manoa Thompson, and he's not signed with South for next year, but here are the players enjoying probably the greatest moment of their life. I've been associated with a junior grand final. I coached East under-23s, and it gives you as much satisfaction as anything you can ever do. You know, a terrific effort by Souths, and you know, the spirit there just carried them through in the end.
All right, well, now the great moment's coming for them to finally make their way to the stage. We see Ken Anderson making a speech, the general manager, the chairman, I should say, of the New South Wales and Australian Rugby League.
By those young men, and they certainly deserve to win it, as I said previously. In having said that, let me just say that the Canberra Raiders certainly didn't let anyone down, and to make a grand final is a supreme effort on its own. And on behalf of us all, I commiserate with the Canberra Raiders, but at the same time congratulate them on doing as well as they have done.
Thanks, Ken. Well, Stephen Stone, where are you? Come on, mate. Steve, have a quick word before the rest of the fellas come up. Go on.
Firstly, I think the main person we have to thank for the great effort the boys put in today was, of course, our coach Steve Sims and the South Sydney coaching staff. They did a great job. And to the Canberra fellas, they put up a great effort, especially first couple of minutes in the second half. Thanks everyone for all the help, and especially the supporters. Thank you very much.
Here it is, mate. We need another bloke. Oh, no, he doesn't need any help. There it is, the President's Cup, and the premiers for 89, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The rest of you fellas, come on up here. Come on up and come.
As the South Sydney players now receive their winners' medals and trophies for their outstanding performance, and they hold the big cup aloft. We'll take a break, then be back live at the Sydney Football Stadium with more on Grand Final Day 89.
On the edge of a dream.
Roger Moore.
Very simply, the South Sydney side won 16 points to 4. They were leading at half-time. 26 points to 4. They've won the match. And very, very simply, they won it because the Canberra the players, the double markers, the two people that were marking up, just never ever tried to stop the South Sydney forwards from going through and turning the ball either inside or out. They did that all day long. I couldn't believe that the Canberra side, who'd done so well through the year, would fall for this old ploy. Now, I know South Sydney do it a lot. They've got a lot of moves they use right through their three grades, where the dummy half runs, turns the ball back inside, they crisscross a couple of times, and they make ground. Today, it worked like a charm for them. Anyway, enough about the negatives. I thought for the South Sydney side, I thought Charlie Saab had a pretty useful game. He scored 14 points, and that's good goal kicking and one try. And young Manoa Thompson, the centre, who is not yet signed for anyone, playing in under-21s, and that's an invitation to other club secretaries to have a go if they can, to get this very talented player on. He ran 75 yards for a try today and defeated 2 defenders. I thought it was a first-class effort. So 26 points to 4. The first grand final is down, 2 to go. Back to you, Graham.
Yeah.
Geraldine. Lynn?
$500.
$500 even. Good bid. And Linda, lucky. 420. 420 is Linda's bid. They're all locked in. Our price, no bells. Our price, $538. Chook! You got it, Chook! Hello, Chook.
Hello.
Lynn.
Yeah, well, Chook.
In case no one knows, how did you get Chook? Tell me
my
first.
My laugh. I get told it's my legs, but it's definitely my laugh.
Oh, they're lovely legs.
Oh, are
No, they are nice legs, aren't they? You a married lady, Chook?
they? Yes, I am.
Children?
3.
3 children?
Yes.
I'm not going to say...
Kane and Elizabeth.
Are they all here?
No.
No, where are they? Oh,
Home. With Nanny.
Right. With Nanny. Aren't nannies wonderful people?
Fantastic.
Have a look at this door here, Chook. We have a fabulous prize lurking in here, but first of all, the game is the most important thing. Open the doors, please, and let's see what Lynn's playing. Oh, it's safe, Crackers. Come in. Gee, it's a dirty little safe, Crackers, to go. Come over here, Chook. Done anything illegal in your day?
Oh, the odd thing.
Have you? Come and stand over this side for me, because then I can show you how it all works. Have you seen this game before?
Yes, I have.
You know that inside here, we have some fabulous prizes.
Right.
I'd like to introduce Natasha to you. Come in, Natasha, our new lady on the show. Are you well?
Thanks.
They're all so darn tall, aren't they? Natasha, this is Lynn. Natasha, that should be unlocked. Would you open it up, please, and show Lynn what she can win? In Safe Crackers, on the... It should be... Is it... Try it now. Ah,